The National Liquor Traders Association has welcomed the lifting of the curfew and the easing of restrictions on gatherings. Licensed alcohol establishments are now allowed to operate beyond 11 p.m. Indoor gathering capacities have also risen from 750 to 1,000 people, while outdoor gatherings remain at 2,000. For more on this, I'm joined by National Liquor Traders Council National Convener Lucky Ndimane. Lucky, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity and greetings to Newzroom Afrika viewers at home.
I'd imagine that the lifting of these restrictions is certainly welcomed news for you as an industry.
Yes, certainly we welcome the lifting and easing of restrictions as announced in the media release by the President last night. We feel that this is the step in the right direction and it augurs well in our recovery efforts. It could not have come at a better time, especially with the revelers preparing, to welcome in the new year. So we feel that this was the right move by the president. And we understand that, he had to juggle a few balls and really balance certain things to ensure that we are allowed to go back into full trading. This will work for us because December represents a big period where we are able to recover some of the losses that we had to endure as a result of the previous bans that we had to go through.
Yes. I mean, talking about your recovery efforts, Minister the President Simondli Gungubela did warn, however, that should cases rise, Cabinet may be in a position where they'll have to bring back the curfew and, of course, reinstate some of the restrictions that we've seen lifted. I'm wondering, with the time that we have, do you think that that's enough time to sort of reclaim what has been lost?
If you look at the alcohol industry, certainly we've been allowed to trade since September without any major restrictions being put in place, and we're able to manage the COVID-19 cases as a country. So certainly the alcohol industry has no bearing on the number of cases rising. So we understand that now in festive season, people will be congregating, relatives will be meeting because they haven't seen each other in a long time. So we are also making that call, to our people to ensure that they continue to practice the COVID-19 protocols. They continue to follow the safe sitting distance, not just standing distance, but also they wear masks at all times, and that they sanitize if they go into places where there's a lot of public. So certainly the alcohol industry will play its part. We will continue to support our government in making sure that we fight against COVID-19. And certainly we as liquor traders see ourselves, as citizens of the country before we are business people. So we certainly are not going to put the profits before our people. We are going to make sure that in how we conduct ourselves, we continue to support government.
Now, prior to last night's meeting, cabinet meeting, rather, we know that there was an earlier meeting with the National Coronavirus Command Council to discuss what government should do with regards to COVID-19 restrictions. We saw government electing to keep our borders open, electing to try and salvage what remains of the economy. Do you get the sense that government is finally learning how to strike that balance between saving lives and, of course, saving livelihoods?
We do think that government is slowly learning to balancing lives and livelihoods. We believe that they are now focused on multiple issues and not the one-sided issue of saving lives, which was the main driver of government strategy in containing COVID-19. So, but we still say to government, and this is one of our main New Year resolution, that government needs to consult with us. Since the advent of lockdowns as a country, we are yet to be consulted by government. Government continues to make decisions for us without us. We feel that, maybe 2022 is a perfect time for us to start on a good footing with our government, where they will be able to talk to us, consult with us so that we can make decisions that are sustainable to supporting the livelihoods, but as well as protecting the lives of our people.
Yeah. I mean, since the lifting of restrictions, I think all South Africans understand that with this newly given freedom comes a lot of responsibility to ensure that we don't find ourselves in a similar position again. When communicating with your patrons, are you ensuring that they understand the implications of decisions like these?
Certainly, the lifting of the restrictions places a huge burden on us liquor traders and the alcohol industry at large. We understand the responsibility. We understand what needs to be done. Fortunately, we have been running tavern compliance programs across the country, which have been funded by Distel and Heineken. These programs allowed us to reach out to our patrons as well as our liquor traders to talk to them about the dangers of non-compliance, because we have seen what happens when cases are rising. The alcohol industry is the first target, of government, We certainly cannot afford to go through another ban. We cannot afford to go through another restriction. So it's incumbent upon us to talk to our patrons so that they can understand where we're coming from. Because closure for us means we're not able to put food on the table. We're not able to support our families. We're not even able to send our kids to school or even buy a uniform. So we are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that our places become safe zones, where our places are not synonymous with the rise or spread of COVID-19 cases. We are certainly going to do our part, and we remain 100% committed to working with government to make sure that we fight COVID-19 together.
Right. Lastly, Lucky, you know, the year 2022 has been dubbed by the World Health Organization as a year of recovery. And I know that a lot of businesses are looking forward to the announcement that was made that 2022 might actually see the end of the acute phase of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm wondering if, as an organization, as a sector, you are already putting plans in place to ensure that that post-pandemic or that post-acute phase pandemic phase that we're entering is, you know, fertile ground for real recovery for a lot of businesses that have been adversely affected by the pandemic.
We believe that the steps taken by government in the past few hours are really a step towards the right direction, and it will allow us liquor traders to actually even bring in more people into the employment sector, where we are able to hire more people as we are experiencing sustenance in terms of our revenues. Certainly, this will work for us because we see a much bigger role. We're not just liquor traders, but we are also contributors to social dialogues. We've been running, for example, gender-based violence initiatives. We are also contributors towards employment in the township sector, where we employ over 250,000 people. So for us, the recovery is not just on the revenue side, but in us doing our bit to contribute positively to our country through employment, through addressing some of the societal ills that are linked to irresponsible usage of alcohol. So we see 2022 as the time where we are going to fully recover, where we are going to also lay a foundation for future growth of our sector. But we wish from the government side that they use 2022 as a time where they reflect and also bring us into the confidence when they make decisions. They need to start consulting with us. We certainly cannot go 2 years without the government being prepared to talk to us.
Thank you very much. We'll leave it there. That's Lucky Ntimane from the National Liquor Traders